major technical difficulties, and of course, Mother Nature isn't necessarily cooperating. Well, not yet. I see Bob, the big orange ball. Hi, by the way, Warren here. How are you guys? Thanks for stopping in. If you are stopped in, questions or comments, just go ahead and leave those, and then I'll try to get back to you. You know what? I won't try. I will get back to your questions and your comments when I get back to the residence. But here we are. This is the Kaneohe Bay. Oh yeah, I was saying I see Bob, the big orange ball. It's coming up my right, your left. But there is a property there with a boat, so I don't want to put them in the shot, especially with the boat's name. But like, there is probably no description because of the technical difficulties, but there's no deep dive episode today, just presence. This is relatively close to my residence, so I'm fortunate to be occasionally down here. But I'll give you guys a little bit of orientation, and then I'll get out of your shot. But some of you might be old enough to remember Gilligan's Island. And straight line distance from where I'm standing that way, again, my right, your left, about 400 meters is what they call, let me take a seat, nicknamed Coconut Island. But that's the island that's in the opening overhead shot from, I think it was season 1 and 3, or 1 and 2. But anyway, about 400 meters straight line distance that way is Coconut Island, known to some of us as Gilligan's Island. And little tidbit, just the opening scene was shot there. It's now a biological research center, private. You can kayak out to it, yak out to it, but you can't stay there. And then behind me and off to my right, out of shot again, but this time that way, straight line right. If it was walking distance, you would get to the Marine Corps base that's located here in Kaneohe. And Kaneohe is on the east side of the island, the windward side. We get a lot of good Kona winds over here, and yeah. But what else about this place? From that corner, so now we'll work left. From the left, your right this time, out to the ocean is 2.7, 2.5, 2.7 miles. And I forgot the width, but there are some really cool spots on the backside here where it's much calmer, some inlets that you can just yak on, and I mean just lay back. They're sometimes like glassy, but I'm still working on this book, Ladysmith by Gilles Foden. It's a tough read, but it's a good read though. Yeah, Bob is trying to break out. I might have to move the camera, maybe. It's gonna break just over the boat, which has a similar name to how I said that. Yeah, hopefully I don't get too much of it in the shot. Hopefully there is sound because uh, there's a, what are those? There's a pair of myna birds and what looks like some chickadees nesting in this jelly coconut tree that has some really nice ones on it too. And you might hear an occasional rooster off in the distance if the mic picks it up, if we're getting any sound at all. Oh yeah, back to the right side. About road distance, straight line road distance, because behind you, going towards the North Shore, up where the Kaneohe Ranch is, where Jurassic Park was filmed, and what was that one about the soldiers, that the Whisperers? So many were filmed up there, but behind you, road distance, straight line road distance. Let's do it in time, because I'm not sure of the distance, but in terms of time, from where I live, turning onto the major road, which is called Kamehameha Highway, straight line distance to the Kaneohe Ranch is Chinaman's Hat, which is an island formed through volcanic action, which is how all of Hawaii was formed. But it looks just like it sounds. And weather permitting, I just might do another live from there, sunrise live. But that one is just like this one is pretty cool. But Bob wants to cooperate, so if you're here and you have the time, thanks for stopping by. It's only 6 o'clock here in Hawaii in the morning. But out at Chinaman's Hat, um, on good low tide, you can walk out to it, wade out, and definitely can yak out to it at any given time. It's a bird sanctuary, but it's also, and I'm not sure, I still haven't looked it up, but I know that for some reason hammerheads love hanging out at Chinaman's Hat. Whenever I spearfish or snorkel, it's not always, but it wouldn't be surprising if I did um, see one or two. This is just such a beautiful place, and so fortunate that I figured, can't take it with you, right? So I might as well share what most people, like I said in the video about gratitude, um, when I was feeling sorry for myself because I walked in the rain and wanted it to be sunny. It's people save what sometimes is their entire lives just to come here for a couple days or at best a week. And because of circumstances, work related and other fortunate events, I get to live here, at least permanently, temporary, and experience it, And I know that I'm fortunate, and I pinch myself every day in that regard. Oh, the rain clouds remind me. It's one of the largest sheltered bays in Hawaii too. And here comes Bob, and you're going to miss him. And I'm just gonna try, okay? So stick with me. I'm going to elevate the tripod and try to not get a lot of the boat in the shot so you can get. Let's see if that works. There you go. Hopefully that works. There he is, the big orange ball, arriving here in East Oahu to say good morning. And you know what? Ironically enough, I think because of its brightness, it will probably just help me with editing out the boat's name, I think. But we will see. Let me stay out of your shot. I'm glad Mother Nature smiled at us and cleaned up the bay a little bit too. Because of the wind and the rain, it was a little on the messy side, but some of us folks around here, when we come down here, we bring a bag with us, or if I'm lazy like today and drive because I wanted the spot, then I'll just throw whatever trash I find in the back, and when I get home I get rid of it. But Mother Nature has been kind. It's relatively, all that's here is what you would find in nature, which is good. That's what you want to find. Hope you folks are enjoying that though. It's interesting how you can get beautiful sunrises. I was mistaken. This isn't in your shot, which is good. I won't show it to you, I'll just get it. But it's interesting how we can experience, and if I didn't say it in the open, if for some reason, folks, we lose connectivity, thanks for stopping by and sharing a moment with us. And I'll get back to your questions and comments when I get back. And again, sorry for the late start, the unscheduled, no description, no title start because of technical difficulties. But life gets a vote. What was I saying? It's interesting how we can um, experience beautiful sunrises and sunsets anywhere in the world, but they're always unique to that location, you know? Kind of like you can't step in the same river twice. The river isn't the same. You aren't the same. And so moments like this, meant to be treasured and appreciated. I was spooking off the crabs. But yeah, can't step in the same river twice. The river isn't the same. We're not the same. I don't know, I think it might be clean enough to bring the pup down later if the tide stays up. Lately it's been a lot of low tide. That's a big crab over here. I'm not gonna mess with you, buddy. I'm just checking you out. A little bit of cloud cover. Huh, what is that jumping over there? Maybe small barracudas here in the flats. I've caught a few in the past. Just from the bank. That's interesting too because I've never caught one from my yak. And I've never landed one on a boat. Hey, pup. Morning. I've never landed one on a boat or on my yak, but I've caught a few keepers, the small ones you want to keep, the under 5 pounders. At least that's the ones I like. They like to hunt here in the flats. I think that's what's going on over there. One of the neighbors walking his pup, cute pup. Actually, that's my golden retriever's dad's breed, Australian Shepherd. 75% beautiful golden and 25% attitude shepherd and attitude golden. There he comes again. I just thought of something. I never finished with the distance. I don't think. I was just thinking, what else could I share? And I thought, did I tell him how far though? Anyway, the road distance straight line from here to Chinaman's Hat, I mentioned Chinaman's Hat, I think, but I didn't, is 8 miles, maybe under. And it's just a beautiful drive. It's the country drive around the island. You take Cam Highway and it turns into several different names, but it's basically the same road. But that's the scenic way. And when I say scenic, patience. Because especially during this season, which is about to be our summer, and our winter, which is the surf season, it is patience. So if you come, and we would love to have you, especially here on Oahu, because it's the most developed. It's crowded. But that's to be expected, right? It's an island, it's paradise. And I don't use that loosely because it is in a lot of ways. But our channel does not look away from the absurdities. There are some absurd things that happen here, as they do everywhere. But at its core, it's a beautiful, beautiful place with some really kind-hearted souls here too. In total, I've been on, or in Hawaii. I'll say in because I've been on the outer islands too, but got stationed here in 2002 and then retired in 2010. Stayed on a teaching contract at the University of Hawaii, ROTC. What is this little nugget? A washer. And then when that contract ended, I got on another gig as a training analyst up towards the North Shore, towards Schofield Barracks, where the Army base is. And I'm still technically with those guys because I do some freelance stuff for them. But I was with them permanently for 5 years. I helped establish that outfit, the Joint Pacific Multinational Readiness Center, it's called now. It used to be Readiness Capability. And that's an empty clam. I'm gonna keep the washer though. Did you guys hear that? I think there are some feed-in barras. I'm gonna walk on the bank though and try to see if I can see it or them. Enjoy. Here is a penny. I'm gonna go down in the shade. That way I can see in the water better. I don't know if you guys can see this stump, but I did an episode on it. Not yet published, in the queue. Low tide. Ooh. Oh, I thought it was a tooth, but it's just a gill bone. I'm gonna bring this back and show you guys up close. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's barracudas. There are lots of crabs. And maybe if I took off my spectacles, kill some of that glare. I can see their ripples, but I can't see them. The beach is really clean though. I'm appreciative of that. It's not always the case. Again, folks, if you're here, thanks for stopping by and joining me. And for checking out the channel. Here's the carcass of a crab. What's left of it? Shells. Actually, it's not. It is molted. And it's intact. I'm going to bring that back too. Might as well share it all with you guys. Just hopefully it will. Ooh, that's a big gill bone. That's, yeah, this guy was huge. Yeah, let's share that. Come stay eyes in your face. But put him out there like that there. See? And look at that jawbone. And the first one I found was this smaller one. Oh, I didn't clean that up too well. I thought it was a tooth though, huh? I'm gonna keep it. I might be able to do something with that, with my sea glass shenanigans. Much better. Oh yeah. Now I'm gonna show it to you again. Look at that. I think I just saw someone say nice. It looked like Scotty. If that's you, Scotty, thanks, my man, for stopping by. And if it's not Scotty, thanks anyway. This is not quite the kind I collect in terms of sea glass. It's too new. I'll show you a test actually, it might be a good one. Here, let me show you. I'm sure you guys know all these things too. It's a test I use when I collect sea glasses. If I can take it and with enough pressure do that and I don't get cut, then it's worth keeping. Look at that chunk. Yeah. Wasn't all a bust. And like I said earlier, Mother Nature did cooperate, except for my own technical difficulties. But life gets a vote, and usually life wins. And so I don't fight that tape. I find a way to be optimistic in the absurdity. Thank you, Bob. You big orange ball, you. Thanks for showing up, buddy. I'm not gonna hurt you, man. I just want to check you out. You're gonna back up into a barracuda's mouth is what you're gonna do, trying to hide from me. Yeah, you're a nice size one. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna back up into a barracuda's yappity jaws. Okay, if you missed the Kāneohe Bay lessons, I guess I could do a really quick recap for those who will even watch it again. But, ooh, ooh, ooh. Marine Corps Base, straight across to the Makapu Peninsula, which is a historic landmark. But just over the boat and the palm trees is the southernmost end of the Marine Corps Base, and then it stretches towards the northeast side going towards the North Shore. I think, did I say the bay was 2.5, 2.7? It's actually 8.5 miles long from the inner tip back out to the ocean, and 2.5 wide. And it is beautiful to yak. Like a day like today is what we call here perfect yak day. It's flat, glassy, and you would think this is a good day for fishing too, right? Not quite. You want it just a little choppier, especially if you're gonna spearfish. just a little bit, choppier than this. And then they start to get really active. Ooh, getting myself excited. Anyway, back to lessons. For those of us, if it's you, Scotty, you remember Gilligan's Island. Only the aerial shot from the opening scene from episode, I want to say it's 1 and 3. Maybe it's 1 and 2. But anyway, Gilligan's Island, that opening shot, that island, straight line distance from where I'm standing, behind you, 400-meter yak, or if you could walk on water, it'd be a 5-minute walk to it. It is now a biological research facility, privately owned, I think, along with the state. But yeah, Gilligan's Island, the rest of it was filmed on sound stages. And I think the movie, its opening scene was filmed on Kauai, which is the neighboring island behind you, directional wise. In front of you, towards the west, so my right, your left. No, that would be your right too. The west side. What was I gonna say? Why did I bring up the west side? I don't remember. I don't remember. Well, while talking about the west side is the dry side. This side is called the windward side because we get the Kona winds, which are back, but they're gentle today. This is the kind of Kona winds we like. These rolling kinds. I think speed is about maybe 3 to 5. And the west side is, it gets wind too, like over on the far west side, Waianae. It gets wind too because there's some good surfing over there, but it's more rocky. Oh yeah, and this bay is protected by one of 2 barrier reefs found in the entire chain. So it's one of the reasons it's so calm. But yeah, the west side is pretty warm during the summer, just over the Koaloa, the Koaloas. That's that range that you're seeing. It goes from that tip you're looking at back around behind you all the way up to the Koaloa Ranch where Jurassic Park was filmed. Chinaman's Hat, the little breakaway island that looks just like it sounds, is back there. It splits the island from that tip all the way around and behind you, the Koaloa Ranch. And then it breaks down through the middle out towards Waianae. So you follow the wind patterns, right? You kind of understand why. So basically we have both forest and arid and island climate here because it's pretty arid over on the west side. In some spots, really arid, a lot of cacti. And of course, the very fertile, but don't get out of your clothes, red soil. When I was in uniform, one of the ways we got that out, believe it or not, was Simple Green and Coca-Cola. We would pour 2 sets of uniform not in your washer, not in the washer. Mama would kill you. But outside in a bucket, or some of the units had what we called recovery areas where you had big old tubs and we'd plug them, and some of the guys would get together and we'd just pour 2-liter bottles of Coca-Cola in the tub with water and Simple Green. And don't ask me to do the chemistry or why the chemistry worked, but Simple Green and Coca-Cola got most of that red dirt out. If you recovered your equipment immediately, like within a couple days of getting back from training, you'll get most of it out. After that though, good luck. Good luck. But that is that fertile red soil where you get those good pineapples, um, avocados, papaya. In Jamaica, we call it cocoa plant. Taro is what they call it here, that you get the poi from. Um, what else? When I go hiking on the trails around here during this period, so it's starting now. Summer came a little late, actually. It's still raining in some spots, but it should start um, really warming up to where when you go on the trails, most of the trails around here, they just are loaded with cherry guavas. So most of you probably are familiar with the big yellow to orange looking ones. These are like the tiny, looks like a cherry, more like a cherry, which is why they get the nickname cherry guavas. And oh my goodness, they're so sweet. And the pigs love them because we have wild pigs here. On this island, that is the only wild animal here. And they're hunted, but only with dogs and knives. So you see the guys riding around here with their trucks with the little cages on the back and their dogs, and but the pigs love them. And you see while you're hiking, you can tell that the pigs have been active because you see their trails all the way down through. But yeah, very fertile. Mangoes, how could I forget mangoes? One of my favorites. And there was only one of those things that I mentioned that I purchase in the store here, and that's pineapple, because you don't find that really in the wild. And so if you have it and you didn't buy it, more than likely you stole it, and that's not going to happen. So, but the rest, if you just are patient and you know where to look and what you're looking for, you find all of what I said growing in the wild, or at least where you can forage enough, even close to the city. You know, if it's growing over in the road, that's kind of the assumed rule. But yeah, I don't know, folks. Is Bob still in your shot? Looks like it. Do I need to turn the camera again? Maybe just a little bit. Maybe not though. What time is it? 6:30. You might not be able to see that cloud cover that's coming, but there is a pretty big one coming from this way. And I think it's gonna eclipse Bob here shortly. But we'll let it stay up a little while longer. And if I didn't recap all of the things, the little nuggets that I gave, and you feel inclined to rewatch from the beginning, then you'll capture some of that. But I don't think I said much that I didn't repeat. And I didn't want to do this much yapping either. I'm not sure I did share this though, how Kaneohe got its name, or its nickname. I'm not sure of um, the proper formation there, but nickname is Bamboo Man, and it gets that from being one of few places with a lot of fish ponds, the native fish ponds, some of them over 600 years old, behind you. Most of them are located behind you, going up again towards the northeast side of the bay, not the island, but the bay. So around the rest of the bay behind you, back behind where they start actually where Gilligan's Island, Coconut Island is, and you can see them while driving on the major highway. If you look, if you're not the driver, if you're paying attention, you might not see. You, there is one spot where it flattens out and you can see some of them if you're the driver with a quick glance, but passenger for sure. Or I should say, if you're the driver coming back this way from the North Shore where you're on the ocean side, you could see them and still pay attention. But if you're going North Shore, yeah, you're the driver. But over 600 of them, and some of them they're still actively used too. There is a park that I filmed from on Lake that's again behind you, about straight line distance 4 miles, and it still has a lot of native agricultural practices that occurs down there, that's done by students and volunteers. Restoration of the swamp area back there. And then of course the Koaloas is the backdrop to that. So when you're down there and then the clouds are just going down and around and through those, it's pretty cool. And then of course Mother Nature likes to drop a rainbow in there every now and then. She's, yeah. Okay, folks, I think that is all of the sun we're gonna get. Off to my right, the rain clouds are actually pushing in, and I think there's actually rain in them. I can see it alongside the ridge. But we'll let it go until 0645. Me in military time. 6:45. That's in, what is that, 6 minutes? But again, thanks for stopping by and sharing some of your time. I won't say which part of the day because don't know where you're watching from. But thanks for sharing some of it with me as I enjoy the sunrise. And there goes Mother Nature being good again. Thank you. Broke out just enough to give us another 5 minutes. And I might be wrong. I mean, the wind is blowing this way, but they're not moving westward. They're just kind of sitting there. But we'll take it. We'll take it. But again, folks, thanks for stopping by and sharing some time with us. It's the one thing I know for a fact that we are in control of. And the fact that you carve some out to swing by live or the rewatch, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed my little tidbits about the island of Oahu. Um, but yeah, you guys take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and be good out there. And I talk to you again soon. Did I say that right? I will talk to you again soon. I'll see you. I think a mosquito got me. Yep, all good. There's the paradise drizzle. Hey, thanks, folks. You guys take care.